Metro currently makes about 10% of sales in its digital wholesale channels. By 2030, this share of sales is expected to grow up to 40%. And one important element within the SCORE strategy to achieve this goal is the digitalization of the hospitality industry. How restaurants can become much more efficient and economical with digital tools, and how this benefits not only their guests but also Metro is the topic of this episode of More Podcast Wholesale to the Max. A warm welcome to all of you, dear colleagues. My name is Bernd.Rodde from Internal Communications at Metro AG. My today's guest, together with his team, supports restaurateurs and their employees with innovative digital solutions. Since 2019, he is the CEO of Metro's digital subsidiary Hospitality Digital. I warmly welcome Volker Gläser. Hi, Volker.
Hello. Hi, Bernd. Thanks for having me.
Pleased to have you here today at More Podcast, and congratulations on the 10 millions, because I just read that 10 million table reservations have already been made with your online tool Dish, and I think that's quite an impressive number, right?
Yeah, indeed. I mean, Dish, as you mentioned, is our key digital brand. And Dish Reservation is a tool we kicked off actually 5 years back. And we hit 10 million reservations now. That's a big number. And I remember the days when we sat down around the table, we were discussing, well, should we really do this? There's so much competition in the marketplace. Should we add another tool here? And to see how this is developing is fantastic. We have more than 40,000 active customers using Dish Reservation, making it one of the leading tools in the industry. So we are pretty happy that we have hit 10 million. Absolutely.
Yeah, really remarkable. But Volker, despite all the digitalization of gastronomy, and we will talk about this in detail in a moment, from my point of view, a visit to a restaurant is also about being cozy and sociable. And Volker, is there anything that should remain analog and not to be digitized when you are visiting a restaurant?
Yeah, I think clearly. I mean, you cannot digitize everything, right? So it's hard to eat a virtual steak, for example, right? So, I mean, let's be honest. And actually, I mean, it's about the atmosphere, right? Which the restaurant can create. But what should be added, certainly, is, the digital world we are all living in, and components from that world, I think we are seeing today growing.
Yeah, and we will talk about that, how digital tools can make restaurant visits more pleasant, and above all, how they can make everyday life easier for restaurateurs and also reduce their costs. That's what we're talking about, and also about which tools Hospital Digital offers under the Dish brand and what contribution it makes to our SCORE strategy and to the growth of the entire Metro. And last not least, we garnish this versatile menu here in our More Podcast kitchen with a pinch of our questionnaire, what scores for you, and an extra shot of your sound souvenir, Volker, the sound that inspires and motivates you for what you want to achieve in life. So I wish all of us bon appetit. So, we've already talked a bit about Hospitality Digital's Dish applications, and when we hear that 10 million online table reservations have already been made with it, you might think that we are talking about the hospitality sector as an industry where digital tools and processes are already common practice. But Volker, please tell us, how digitalized is the gastronomy industry in reality?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good question. And I would certainly see two categories, if you will, in answering that question. One is pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. So pre-pandemic numbers, certainly there's research in the marketplace you can look into, would tell you that every third kind of restaurant was using some kind of digital tool, like, table booking, online reservation, pickup and delivery, and maybe had a social media presence. So 30%, that certainly made the industry, let's say, an under-digitized one, if you will, clearly. And then what happened, unfortunately, in March 2020, we all know it, is the pandemic. And then I think it was kind of a booster to the digitization of this industry. I mean, if you imagine, the industry had to basically close down, right? As a restaurant owner, what could you do? I mean, you could offer pickup and delivery, maybe, but many were simply not ready to do so. And this period, I think, between, let's say, March 2020 and the end of 2020 has really shaped this industry big time in terms of helping digitize it. And this is when we saw demand for the dish digital tools going up big time. I would say by now, and research data is telling you this, it's around 50 to 60%. So meaning at least every second restaurant would, in general, is offering any kind of digital service. So this means what happened over the last 2.5 years in this industry is amazing, right? So it's a real digital booster, if you will, that we're experiencing. And we are hearing this from our customers. And at the same time, if we look at our numbers, it's clear. So we are growing strongly since the pandemic. And we are helping, of course, restaurant owners to run their business better, I think, more efficiently than ever before.
Yeah, so Corona as a wake-up call for the gastronomy.
Absolutely, Bernd, absolutely.
Industry and for the digitalization of it. And yeah, Hospitality Digital has set itself the goal of making hospitality businesses more efficient with digital tools. So let's go a bit through your solutions and start with your classic dish tools before we get to the new dish POS products. Like you said, it all began with the website builder, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So 2015, 2016, actually, the idea was to provide web pages to restaurant owners for free, by the way. So the company actually acted like, how to put it, like an internet pure play, right? So build reach first, like we know it from the Googles and Instagrams of this world. So, and YouTubes, for example. So offer a service for free, build a foundation of customers, so build reach, and only then start to monetize the services, because in the end you'll have to make money, otherwise you won't be able to offer that service long term. Yeah, and then you may remember, Bernd, in 2021 then, we said, actually end of 2020, so okay, good. We have built a certain foundation now in terms of reach, in terms of customers. We had more than 150,000 back then. So, okay, now we should try to monetize this tool, because if it's a good tool, if people love it, then it's value we give to them, and then they should be willing to pay for that. And exactly that happened. So we created a number of packages, bundles we call them. Yeah. So it starts with Dish Starter, which is the website, comes for free still. Then we do offer Dish Reservation. That's one of the 3 pro bundles we have. So really, if you are a professional, you run your business, you have maybe 1 or 2 outlets, you would subscribe to the reservation tool. Then we also offer Dish Order, which is a pickup and delivery tool. And then we offer Dish Premium, which gives you reservation and pickup and delivery as one package. Yeah, this is how we've built that business, step by step, slowly but surely, if you will.
Yeah, and all these solutions are mainly targeted at the restaurant guests of our Metro Gastronomy customers. And in the second step, you then also started to develop digital tools for the management of a restaurant business. But I remember that you stopped that in a certain moment of time. Why that?
Yeah, that's true. So we stopped a number of tools, actually, like our shift planning application that we offered, because we heard from our customers, okay, guys, that's a nice tool, but actually we want this kind of tool integrated with the key engine we are running in our restaurant, which is a POS system. We will talk about that later. So the, if you will, modern or electronic cashier that you need in the restaurant. And we also didn't really see demand going up. And in the end, we see it in the sales numbers, right? So if we can't sell a tool, if there is an innovation, if we believe we have an innovation and we can't sell it, then unfortunately we need to realize it's not an innovation. And we did this also with the dashboard. Dashboard was actually the first data-savvy application that we offered. So we connected the dashboard with the cashier in the restaurant, and it gave you, as a restaurant owner, overview of, how the day was doing in terms of number of customers, what they ordered, turnover per day, and so on. We gathered something like 2,000 customers. At that time, the tool really was for free. We got very good feedback. But same thing. Our customers told us, guys, that's great. Can you do us a favor and integrate that into, one universal engine, one universal tool, POS system? And we have been asked so many questions at that time. Do you also offer a POS system?
Yeah.
Do you also offer the modern cashier? And we said, okay, we are looking into that. And we come to that story because we were looking for a very long time for the right partner. And this is, Bernd, why we then decided, you know what? If customers like it, but maybe are not willing to pay for it, or they're telling us, you know what, good start, you can do better, then let's do better. And then we decided to do exactly that. And we focused 100% on dish and the dish bundles you see in the market today.
And then icing came into place.
Icing came, yeah. Long story.
Yeah, long story. Since April 2022, the Dutch company icing is part of Hospitality Digital. Metro acquired 100% of the company. Yeah, and since then, you have been working together there in joint teams. What kind of company is icing and how is the integration into Hospitality Digital going?
Yeah, so happy to go into that. But before, as I just said, Ben, right? So we were looking for a POS system for a very long time. We looked at presumably the entire industry. And then we had icing on our scorecard, if you will, on our shortlist already in 2019. This is the first time when we met with those guys from Hengelo, very close to the German border, René Icing and his team. Back then, they were working on their product, further improving their product. And we said, okay, not at this point in time, maybe later. But we really had them on the radar all the time. Yeah. Last year, then, we said, you know what, we need to do that. That's a great company, and we acquired them. We acquired them because it was very clear to us. Icing, so actually their product, we call it Dish POS now. Their product in the Netherlands, they are a market leader in the Netherlands. It's called Gläser. So Dish POS is a leading system. And we always said, you know what, it's actually kind of the missing piece of this puzzle we're building here. We need the engine of a restaurant where everything comes together. What customers, guests order. Many restaurant owners are using it as their planning tool for items they buy and they sell. Yeah. And of course, it's the direct guest interaction via payment that runs through that system. We believed and still very much believe in icing. Icing is not a startup company. So we acquired a company that has been around for roughly 40 years. So they know the industry in and out. They have kind of, if you will, in the Netherlands at least, they have shaped the industry in terms of processes, in terms of how they connect a kitchen screen. They have something called the kitchen manager, a kitchen screen for the chef in the kitchen with the cashier at the reception desk. The way they have created the processes so that everything is easy, everything can be run, if you want to, through your own smartphone as a restaurant owner. This is unique. It's a leading technology. Clearly, they became a market leader in the Netherlands. Their market share is 30% and above. And we said, we need to have this now.
Yeah, great. That sounds really like a perfect match of Hospitality Digital and icing. And you already mentioned a bit the icing applications, in the Netherlands Book application, and otherwise it will be called Dish POS, if I get it right.
Yes.
What is this tool all about? What are the most important functions of the Dish POS system?
Dish POS is a very modern POS system. It's actually called a cloud-based POS system, so meaning the software is available in the cloud. This comes with many advantages for the restaurant owner. So you can access this system from wherever you want to. You don't have to be in your restaurant to see what your turnover is for the day. The system provides lots of flexibility. If, for example, all of a sudden, a big group of people comes to your restaurant and you may have only 2 or 3 handheld devices for waiters.
Yeah.
If you realize, well, I now need more, you can instantly, via the web, order further software licenses for further hardware devices, which you should have anyway in your restaurant, and run on a software as a service base, the software on your device to serve your guests.
Yeah.
And afterwards, when they're gone, you cancel it again. That is a flexibility which is following the trend. That's what restaurant owners want. They want maximum flexibility, and this is what we are offering here. Also, then, if you take the guest perspective, you and I are going into restaurants. So clearly, we do offer some very future-proof applications like ordering via QR code on the table, payment by QR code at the table. This is helping restaurateurs to become even more efficient in times where there is demand for people, but you may not find people, not the right people to help you there. So it's the future readiness of that system that struck us when we, in the end, decided on the acquisition of iSync.
Yeah, sounds really great and sounds like a lot of useful benefits for restaurateurs to make their lives easier. But now, Volker, we would like to know a little bit about what makes life easier for you and what is important to you personally in life. And to tease this out of you, we have our small but smart questionnaire. What scores for you? So, Volker, let's get started.
All right, let's go.
What is your core? Means what special strengths do you have?
I think I'm good at architecturing things. Also, in software development technology, I've always been interested in the architecture of things.
Yeah.
So how do different components come together? So I think when I was young, I was a Lego freak, really. I mean, big time, big time.
Like my son.
Okay, all right. So it really was.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it goes back to that time. So I'm interested on how things come together. I try to look ahead where I can. I'm very much interested in innovation. I really try to understand how innovation can improve experience, customer experience. So, and this is what I'm also doing at home. So I try to create the most intelligent home I can create, by using digital tools, by using Internet of Things. This is what I'm really interested in, and I'm into this. I love that. I really love that. Yeah.
That sounds really interesting. Just a few weeks ago, I bought my first Alexa for our
Very good.
new smart home. So I'm also starting to get a little bit into this topic.
Yeah,
but that's another story.
Many use cases, Bernd, right? Like you can connect Alexa with your windows, open them, shut them, and so on.
Yeah.
So I'm into that. I know what you're talking about exactly.
Okay, then I will get in contact with you if I have a question.
I'm available for you. Any channel, ping me.
What small or big goals have you set for yourself?
So my wife and I, we certainly do every year New Year resolutions. For this year, we want to help non-governmental organizations a bit more than we did last year. So it can be anything where we are convinced of. Can be education, can be health, the health sector. So I really want to try to give something back to society. Also interested in that. So many non-governmental organizations around. Number one. Number two, I want to do more sport.
Yeah.
That is something I have on the radar. It's hard to do that. So because HD is so time consuming, and at the same time, I have to say, it's great that HD is time consuming because we see what we are achieving together here.
Absolutely. But do we have a special way to achieve your goals?
What I have realized over the years, what I really do need some time, and this is of course mostly at the weekend, I need some time off for myself, right? And I usually combine that with playing golf. I do this very early in the morning, usually, so summertime is great then for doing that. I really need to have an hour or two or 3 maybe at the weekend when it's 18 holes. I need to calm down a bit, if possible, without anybody around. So I need this time for me. And I've realized golf specifically in summer months gives me that.
Yeah.
So that's what I focus on then. When I can, what should I have time?
Okay, so, and do you have something like milestone that you use to measure your progress? How you judge your success in doing that?
Actually, that's probably pretty subjective. I mean, I try to look back then, usually per month. So last month, how much time did I spend for A, B, C, D, E, F, G? And I try to see if I should improve here or there. So I'm also a number freak, right? So I try to measure everything I can with respect to my body performance and so on.
Okay.
So I like to check my health indicators and all that stuff. So this is basically how I look at myself, if you will.
Okay, so collecting data.
Yes,
also
of
about
course.
yourself.
Yes, sure.
Okay, Volker. So we know what is important for you and what scores for you.
Yeah.
And now we're even more curious about your sound souvenir,
Yeah.
the sound of your core. So, dear colleagues out there, be patient a little longer and you will get it at the end of this episode. But first, let's find out more about Hospitality Digital and how you, Volker, and the colleagues are taking the restaurant industry into the future. We just talked about your new Dish POS system, which you launched, you already mentioned it, in France just a few weeks ago and went to market there. And what you also mentioned is that you presented it at the CIAHA, the big food and gastronomy exhibition in Lyon. What did you experience there with your team and how did the visitors react to the new Dish POS system?
Yeah. So CIAHA as such, I think, is a great experience. I mean, the way the people there celebrate the industry, celebrate food, I think does something to you. And when I arrived at our booth and when I could see the Dish brand there and Dish POS, honestly, I was a bit moved, right? So, because I thought, great where we took it so far as a team, right? So just 4 or 5 years back, I mean, we were really thinking, okay, how to monetize our products and, would we ever be able to either build a POS system on our own or would we find the right partner? Would Metro be willing to invest into this and so on? And now we were there and that was a great moment. And for the entire team, I mean, this is built on the icing technology that we acquired just 6, 7, 8, 9 months back. And it was and has been lots of effort to prepare the system for the French marketplace for various reasons. And that was a great experience, number one. And then we heard during a press conference there, we heard restaurateurs who are already using the system. So they were part of a test group. And one was the owner of a pizza place talking about Dish POS. And he said, probably one of the best things Metro has ever done in 20 years. So I can't really comment on that. But if this comes from somebody who is using a system that we introduced newly into the marketplace, and as you know, in this POS industry, there's lots of competition, then there must be something good about it. And that made us very proud, I have to say, very proud.
So great experience and also a great success for the launch of the Dish POS system in France. A great success is also our score strategy, and we are already a bit closer to our goals that we've set for 2030. In terms of sales share from digital businesses, it's supposed to be 40% then. At the end of the past financial year, it was 9%. However, still a long way to go. I remember, and you already told about that at the beginning, the Dish website tool was for free or still is. How does digital hospitality is earning money and generates its sales today? So what does the payment model for the Dish tools look like?
Yeah, as I said, we decided in 2021 to monetize our products. And we said, look, it needs to be very easy for our customers. So we decided to build bundles. The first one is the Dish Starter Bundle, which is basically the website and some other tools that give you visibility on the web, like web listing. The second then is we decided to build other bundles. One very much focused on reservation. It's called Dish Pro Reservation. In Germany, I think comes for 34.90 euros. If you compare that with the competition, this is a very competitive price point. because the product we offer is really, really good. I mean, this is a fully blown reservation system a restaurant owner can adapt to her or his restaurant in terms of, number of seats, number of guests, and so on.
For less than 40 euros per month.
For less than 40 euros per month.
Sounds
and
cheap,
the feedback we consistently get is that's a fantastic price point, because the competition is offering similar tools, but at much higher price point. So we really want to give value, and I think we really do. Then we have the next bundle. It's called Dish Pro Order. This is, our pickup and delivery system. It comes for $49.90. And here we actually have the strongest feedback, because our competitors are really asking for shares per order, which can go to 30 or 40%. We don't do that. We give our restaurant owners a tool, a fully blown pickup and delivery tool, but we are not asking for shares per order, which go up to what, 30, 40%? Where does your margin go if you really do that?
We all know about which competitor we are talking about. We do not name it, but go on.
Okay, we are all aware, right? We don't do that. And the best feedback here is, wow, this is a very good tool for only, let's say, around 50 euros a month. Differs a bit from market to marketplace, but I think everywhere under 50 euros. And that actually really, really is the right tool for the right moment, because if you're talking to restaurateurs in the industry at this point in time, there is anger when it comes to this share they need to pay per dish. There is real strong anger. And then that's the last bundle, 4 bundles actually, pretty simple. We call it Dish Premium, which combines reservation and pickup and delivery. And that is something I think we've done right. The feedback from our customers is very positive. Clearly structured bundles, we understand, fantastic price point, and product quality is very good. And of course, we have to add something else, and we are currently thinking about the proposition and the commercial offering. It's, of course, the POS system we talked about. So there will come bundles around the POS system as well.
Okay, interesting. Another business area of Hospitality Digital is the mining and analysis of data that you gain from the dish tools. How would you describe the business model here?
So before we started this data unit, and we even entered a joint venture company with a company from Hamburg, Datalog, we call the company Deep Insights. It's using the data that we are generating within the tools that we sell to our customers. It starts with a website where we have actually all the information per restaurant you want to have. Number one. Number two, of course, now with the POS system, we have access to the engine of a restaurant. So any kind of data, any pattern on how the restaurant is doing, high demand, low demand times, and all this we do have. So we sat down and said, okay, look, there is kind of an internal business model for us dealing with the data, meaning we give the data to Metro, to the countries, because the countries can use that to optimize their sales. I said it before, we are here to help the core business do better. And over the years now that we are doing this data aggregation business, we do see that customers using the dish tools create somewhere between 3 and 11% more revenue in the core business. So their baskets are bigger and the purchase frequency is higher. So we said, okay, let's give that data to the countries and help boost our core business, number one. And number two then, of course, because the industry, fast-moving consumer good in particular, has been approaching us and say, okay, can we have that data? We said, no, okay, in general, of course not. It's our data, but there may be data that we should share with our fast-moving consumer good partners. And we're doing this with Red Bull, for example, is one of the latest additions here in terms of partners. And we look into the data sets they are looking for. And if we believe it's worth sharing, then we are selling the data into those customers. Yeah. So this is how this business actually comes together. I think, and that's kind of the external business model, if you will. Both together is generating, I think, a very valuable unit that can help Metro perform even better in the core business and will help in the end, I think, will help reach our score targets.
Yeah, and help us to fostering our world's leading position as a food wholesaler. How is the market position of hospitality digital developed in recent years, and who are your biggest competitors?
So not too easy to answer that question because that market place for us here is super fragmented. So market share numbers are hard to tell. But in most of the key markets where we provide dish tools, our market share is at least on par with the metro market share. So, and I think that is great. In a relatively short period of time, we've created that market share in the marketplace. And we are now adding market share. We're seeing this. Now, interestingly, the demand for our tools goes up swiftly for the reservation tool, for the pickup and delivery tool, for the POS system in the Netherlands, even in the Netherlands, where we are already the market leader, we are growing faster than ever before. So yes, we aim to have a leading market share per country compared to our competitors.
Yeah. That's, you're willing, and you already told us a little bit that the market is growing and the numbers are growing. But what's your concrete expectation for hospitality digital business to develop in the medium and long term? What are your goals?
Yeah, so we first of all look at active customers. So metro customers who use our tools. So we have currently connected more than 290,000 restaurants across 16 markets with the platform, with dish.co. Makes us, I believe, one of the largest professional HoReCa digital networks in the world. 290,000 is a great number. We want 500,000. So we are working on that. We are growing. And we want to get there latest by 2030. So still a way to go, but that is one of our key targets. Number 2 is our POS system distribution. We want more than 100,000 customers as fast as we can. This will make us one of the largest POS providers, at least in Europe. So those are some of the key targets we have. And then overall, of course, I mean, we are committed in terms of value contribution coming from hospitality digital for score. So we are currently well on track and we want to outperform. We always want to outperform.
And what are your steps in the short term? So what is in focus for this year?
Yeah, for this year, it's clear. We said for this year from reach to value, meaning last year we focused very much on growing the Dish Foundation to roughly 300,000 now, more than 290,000. We will go on doing that, but we shift the focus in parallel a little bit to value. So we want to aggregate, generate more paying customers, and the POS system will help us. Hence, we really focus on rolling the POS system out into France. Germany will follow also this year, this fiscal year, this calendar year. And then we are already preparing Italy, Spain, and Romania. So those are the key targets. 1, 2, 3 targets everybody can well remember. And that's what we are working on.
So sounds great. And we see that you and your team are fully committed to your
100%, Bernd,
mission,
100%.
To your mission of supporting the hospitality industry with digital tools. And I know that there are a number of great stories about it, how this is being received by Metro's HoReCa customers and how they put it into practice. And these stories are written down by my wonderful colleagues from corporate communications on mPulse, Metro's storytelling platform, which is available online, but also as a print magazine. And there you will find all these inspiring stories of restaurateurs and how they run their businesses with the dish tools and make them more successful. Very lovely told and illustrated with great pictures. I can really recommend take a look at it on mPulse. I know you'll love it. And you can find the websites of the online magazine under mpulse.de, mpulse.de, and the link to it you can also find in the show notes of this episode. On mPulse, there's also an interview with you, Volker. And what you tell the colleague there sounds very interesting. And I guess also very interesting is the sound souvenir that you bring us, Volker, the sound of your core, because every guest here on More Podcast brings a certain sound that gives him inspiration, motivation, and the most power to achieve his goals. And now I'm curious, Volker, let us hear. What sound did you bring?
So, Bernd, let's listen. I hope I managed this well here. Let's go.
Okay.
Did you hear that? What do you think it is?
Yeah, because you told us that you're playing golf a few moments before.
Yeah.
Maybe it sounds like this. Yeah,
yeah,
is
it is.
From playing golf?
This is the sound of a golf shot, right?
Okay.
So this is when a golf club meets a golf ball.
Yeah.
And I like that very much. The sound inspires me. This is about power. This is about speed in the first place. Hospitality Digital has always been about speed. We want to move ever faster. It's about a very dynamic process, if you will, that you need to train a lot and improve over time. And I think this very much stands for Hospitality Digital. This is what we have been doing. We do know we have reached a certain state. We need to become better every time we are launching a product, every time we are working on something. So this is why I like this very much. It inspires me a lot.
Fits very well. Great sound. Thank you very much for it.
Thank you.
And above all, thanks for your very nice and interesting conversation about Hospitality Digital. Good luck for the future and all the best for you, Volker.
Thank you, Bernd. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
And dear Metro colleagues out there, thanks also to you for listening. Stay tuned for the next episode of More Podcast and check out the previous episodes. You can find them just like this one on United and everywhere else you listen to podcasts. Please do me a favor and subscribe to us and recommend More Podcasts to all your colleagues as well. Thank you very much. Bye-bye and take care.